What's up guys? So, cables. At one point in the future we definitely will switch all to completely wireless technology because it's just simpler and easier to use than cables. Cables are many times hard to stick to your phone or other device. It takes a bit of time instead of just dropping it on some wireless charger. Our current wireless chargers aren't that good and we still use cables quite a lot. I would say most of us use cables for most of our charging still. It's mostly the lighting for Apple devices, micro USB for some older devices, however that's it right now, and all the new devices are kind of switching to the USB Type-C, which is compatible with from laptops to phones to everything, action cameras. So this makes it way simpler. You don't need to pick from many cables and so on. But at the same time, there's always that cable factor. You need that cables still for next few years, and this video is about the cables. Why I don't think you should get them from AliExpress and places like that. Why I think it's not really worth your money. Well, we all know this AliExpress kind of bag. I can show you quite a lot of examples of me ordering various cool cables and why they aren't that cool after all. The first one, cable seems pretty high quality, right? But it's like some texture on it. This is a lightning cable to USB. USB has a cover like this. Okay, but this cover won't really help it against breaking it, and you can see the connector is maybe not as high quality. So at the same time, this isn't a problem because USB is pretty thick and it pretty much, this regular USB pretty much never breaks. The other end is lighting, however, it's pretty much broken. As you can see here, I believe this part is from it. This is how it looks like. It's obviously broken. It should have been something like that, and it should have been magnetic charger, but as you can see, magnetic part stayed in here while the lightning stayed in the device. I got it out, but still, magnetic charger that should be against the breaking of the cables has magnet is strong, so it breaks the lightning because it's not high quality enough. This wouldn't really happen with an Apple cable, because this wouldn't really happen if you had an official Apple cable, and true, they tend to break over time because as you bend the cable, you can bend it only a certain amount of times. When you put it in your pocket like this, it decreases the life expectancy of this cable by a lot. And maybe if you just make a bigger circle out of it, something like this, it maybe decreases the life expectancy less because it's being bent less. But at the same time, it's still moving the cable, it's still using it in some ways. So eventually this, even through maybe small usage of the cable, will add up and the cable will somehow break. But the big advantage on the Apple cables is these connectors. USB never breaks in my experience, but the lightning connector doesn't break either on the official Apple cables. If you have one-to-one original kind of copy of Apple cable that's a bit cheaper, it might not break, as in the connector, but the cable stops working usually sooner in my experience. And Apple cables cost like 20 or 30 bucks maybe now. And what do you get really for 30 bucks is something that you can rely on, and at the same time for me, one of the main features is the guarantee. Because if you buy it in Apple Store or Apple resell, like official resell store with official Apple products nearby, you can just hop in if it's broken, and in week or two you're getting a new one. I don't know about these laws worldwide, but in European Union, if you get the replacement of some part of the device, your guarantee, you get like another 2 years of guarantee from the moment you pick up the replacement part. I can buy literally one cable, and unless I lose it, it might get broken in next 2 years. So I just get the replacement for a new one, and I have another 2 years without paying any extra cost. And eventually, after a few replacements like that throughout the years, like you might end up switching to a new standard of the cable, so you don't even need it, and just paid for that one cable. Even though it was 20-30 bucks, you didn't buy 10-20 cables for $2 that would stop working and wouldn't even give you that function. So that's where I see that Troids may be a bit more expensive. It's probably better like that. Other side, so we have like some dots for electricity and magnet around it. This one is also somehow broken, just the metal sheet is down. You can see metal sheet from the cable I just showed. Another seemingly very cool cable was this. Wow, who wouldn't want a cable that's automatically getting back, tied back, right? Amazing. We all want cable that doesn't tangle or anything, because it just gets back right away, right? Wow, this one seems to work. USB, amazing. You need to pull it from the both sides at the same time, kind of weird because this ends up in the middle, but it's also logical because there is the coil that just turns around. Yeah, it even stops. Amazing, doesn't back just by itself. But then here we go. There's a broken micro USB, and there was an extra adapter piece with lightning that's also broken. So here is a micro USB part that's broken. Extra piece where there was a lightning adapter, which is also broken. So from a cool idea of self untangling or storing cable or whatever you call this, we end up a cable that relatively works, but in fact it's unusable because of the little issue with this phone connectors, micro USB or lightning that just break very easily because it's low quality. This is the problem with the cheap cables from AliExpress and other places like it. And I have this cool cable that seems like a very cool design. The lightning didn't break. Cool feature, this is from AliExpress, and accessories like this are amazing. This is for cable management. You just put the cables in, twist it around. Let me know if you want more of a cable management video with these cool things from AliExpress for cable management. I think that could be maybe more interesting than this. Charging. So it works sometimes, but at the same time, sometimes you plug it in and it doesn't work. Like now. Maybe if I twist it around again. Yeah. Maybe the problem with this cable is that it was just one side. I don't know. I'm really not sure about that. Lightning connector is the same to both sides, so it should work to both sides. I don't know what's the problem with this cable, but it seems to work sometimes and doesn't work other times. When I twisted it, worked, and when I twisted it back it didn't work again, and when I twisted it again it worked again. Maybe something with that, I don't know. It's hard to tell, honestly. what's wrong with the cables, but I think buying the original and not caring about it, like 20-30 bucks is not that much considering you're using this basically every single day, maybe even for more devices. But after all, there's a cable that comes with each device nowadays, so unless you use it up too much or unless you really need more cables, I recommend just keeping up with that. Don't need to waste any money on any new cables. Oh, and I forgot, the small cables are really good. I mean, they work. All these sort of the ones I love the most are the CHUGI flat ones. They're flat so they don't tangle because they're always straightened up to their kind of original position, and at the same time it's basically just short cable from USB type A, regular USB, even charging adapters, to micro USB. Okay. Xiaomi ones. Thanks for watching. I hope it wasn't too long and you got some value out of this. Let me know what sort of videos do you want to see next. Do you want to see maybe more of that cable management, things from AliExpress and these cool various tools from AliExpress, or maybe some videos about some cool startups on Indiegogo and Kickstarter, which I think is also very interesting. Maybe just something self-development, business, mindset setup. All of these are things that interest me and that I would love making content about, and if it helps, if some of these interests or help you more, let me know and I can maybe make more of those. It's for you just as it's for me to have fun while making this. It's for you to help you. That's kind of the goal. So, see you in the next one.